Michael Storm, anarchist of comic books and co-owner of Amazing Fantasies here in Topeka, Kansas, and you'll have to try to catch us this weekend out at the Topeka Zooverse at the Topeka Zoo, of course, and it's a little celebration of animals and animal culture and conservation and superheroes and collecting. And so there'll be collectors booths and some cosplay contest stuff going on, and they'll have some food and food trucks, and of course we'll be out there, and there'll be creators from around town. Alex Grecian is going to be there. I know I was talking to him the other day when he was in the store. He mentioned he'll be there. And I know there's a couple others running around, some artists, some writers, all will be hanging out there. Other businesses will be hanging out there too, and just enjoying a day at the zoo. One of the earliest days you can get out there at the zoo. So hopefully we'll see you out there. Until then, you'll have to check out the new comic books. Of course, that's what I'm doing out here, putting them out, and it's a big week. DCKO number 5. It's done. It's over. This is it. This is the wrap on the whole thing, which is really just the beginning of a whole new universe and a whole new idea for DC. That's the way all these things are, right? Every new beginning is every ending is a new beginning, right? Something like that. Sure, some silly little sentiment like that. So will Superman be able to defeat Darkseid? Will he become King Omega? Will he give up the kingdom and the kingship? There's just like George Washington, they offered him the kingship and he turned it down. Will he be George Washington Regal, that Superman? And what would happen to the DC universe if he did? Here's the thing that kicked it all off. This is third print of the DC All In, a nice big flip book. If you'd ever caught it in the beginning, and I know a lot of people didn't, they missed it, this is a good chance to go back there and see where this whole thing comes together. We still have some 4s and some 3s and some 2s and some 1s, and I think we even have a couple complete sets of the acetate covers 1 through 5 that are available over there. There's let's see, a reprint of, which one was this? Round 2, and then I think there's a reprint of round 6 somewhere up here. One of these is, there it is. Round 4, okay, see, I don't know. But so plenty of the KO stuff still around here. Here's another one of the reprints of the Heart of Apocalypse. And there's some other great stuff as well. We're just going to walk right on past this. The Joker is back. And it all starts here. Do we need to say any more? Should we just go on right now? Look at that Joker. Get some great covers. Jorge Jimenez and Matt Fraction really look at that. That is so cool. Really pulling together a couple of number 2s and some other issues available. Really pulling together this Batman universe. It's familiar, but it's different. If you haven't been reading it, it's only up to number 7. It's not that hard to catch back up to it. Worth it, I think. New Absolute Superman, and then we have New History of DC Universe, Dakota Incident. They sent us the foils finally. I don't know why they keep doing that, but they end up being sort of delayed. There's another one, I'll point that out with some of the other guys. It's not just DC. I'm not picking on anybody. It just happens in the industry, and for whatever reason. So we get the first part of Death Spiral within the Amazing Spider-Man comic book, and of course here's a Death Spiral number 1, and I believe it's the last one that I have. Bunch of number 1s up here for Marvel this week. In fact, all of this stuff, aside from that number 36, that Avengers that just came out, these are all real accessible. These are all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, under 10 for sure. Even the Captain America up there. These are all under 10. Just a few issues in, easy to get started on, and that was something that, where was it? I guess that's in these. Okay, so yeah, this is in the DC stuff, so they just started doing this. So here's a Batgirl number 17, brand new, but look at this. The Curse of the Blood starts here, and then Mayor Ivy starts here. These are both this week, number 42. And so they're pointing out that these are really good points to jump on, is what they're trying to do. And they're trying to make that clearer. And they've done that over the years in different ways. Over and over again, they've tried different ways to make that point. And they never stick with it. They never keep doing it. There's never any consistency. So no, it's no wonder that they don't. And I'm talking about all of them again. I'm not picking on DC because Marvel has done it too. Remember where they did they'd be like issue 375 or something like that, and there'd be a big one down here, and it'd be the first part of this storyline. And I guess that just confused the hell out of everybody. That was too many numbers on the front of one comic book. This is great. Of course, I'm a fan of the New Mutants and the original New Mutants storyline from back in the day. Well, it was 100 issues. There was quite a few storylines. And of course, Deadpool comes out of there, and Danny Moonstar and many others have passed through the pages of New Mutants. And you'll notice that this, and again, I'm trying to point out that these things are tied together. Shadows of Tomorrow, that's all part of what's going on across the mutant universe in the wake of the Age of Revelation storyline. So even Uncanny's got something going on. X-Men did too. I don't even know how many issues back now. Wow, some great covers, huh? Well, okay, so we're a little back too far now. We're back there to Age of Revelation. But here's an interesting one. This new X-Men this week. The Danger Room, they're bringing the Danger Room back, so that means that one issue, and it escapes me off the top of my head. I can picture the cover, just a very simple open space cover with just one figure on it, and sort of maybe 3 or 4 colors in the whole cover, and sort of oranges and blues and yellows. It's amazing that I know I could sort of picture this cover, but I can't remember what issue it is. But it's the issue where the Danger Room becomes a sort of sentient being, an extension beyond just the actual room with some intelligence, and they're bringing that back in a big way. So be looking out for that one in the to come up in value. This annual is really cool. This is X-Men Annual #1, and it's really fun. It's a Ryan Stegman storyline. And it is totally just fun stuff as far as I'm concerned. It's what a great comic book is supposed to be. The writing is being brought to life, and the X-Men have to figure out how it is. They're just sort of wandering around one day, and then out of the walls, oh, look, here comes this art. And, they got to figure out the mystery, what that's all about. So that's fun. Wolverine's new. He's hiding out with Silver Sable, and there's some weird creature or something looking for him. You have to get all the way to the end of the book before you find out exactly what's happening. I still have a couple of books, a couple of issues of Punisher #1 left. And then here's another big thing. Star Wars this is a prelude to the Disney show that's coming up, the new cartoon series, Shadow of Maul. Which this all would have been tied in. This all would have been a movie if Solo had done better, if it hadn't experienced the problems that it had with directing and what you could maybe at this point start calling the Disney curse. We'll see. It looks really good. The story, all the storyline, all the Darth Maul stuff is really fun, and they can't really mess him up too bad because his story's kind of already told. So they got to keep it clean, right? They got to keep it within what you would expect for the most part, and that makes people happy. I know that sounds like, to some people it sounds boring, but to most people I think it's comforting. It's, oh, these are the characters, these are the situations, this is the world that I love, and that's what they want to read. This is a brand new Exploit. I haven't checked it out yet. I just kind of glanced through it, and there's something weird going on in the background of this story, and I think that's what you got to figure out. It's a nice setup. It's an interesting setup, but there's something just sort of weird going on in the background, and I guess that's what the story is about. This kind of cover really just sort of tells it. These butterflies are dangerous. They're very, very dangerous, and I don't know if they're going to create some sort of zombie universe. They're just sort of going around. But butterflies don't bite people, but they have this sort of messed up proboscis that hooks and barbs. It's not straight. It's not what they would normally use to sort of, get their nectar or whatever from a flower or something. And it immediately starts harming people, and so we'll have to see where that one goes too. Pooh Bear Adventures, yeah, is another one of these characters that has fallen into the public domain, and so now people are working on him. This was a cute little story. This was a Pooh Bear story. There's nothing else that you can say about it. This was exactly what you would expect of Winnie the Pooh and Piglet and Christopher Robin, and it was cute and it was fun, and it's something for the kids. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds one shot, obviously for the kids. Great stuff right there. A little bit of fun here, a little bit of delayed fun. I mentioned it down there. These guys that keep doing this. Well, Dynamite has been real bad about it with these special bagged books. They've been delayed. We're at issue number 3 on the Darkwing Duck already, and this number 1 blind bag is just now hitting. And that's a dangerous thing for them to do, because it wasn't as if these books weren't already printed, and it's been, I'm pretty sure, other problems, because we've documented some of it. Where are they? There they are down here. These guys here were some of the first ones that they did, the Harley Quinn, Elvira, and they were messed up, and you can see that they placed the glue here at the top, and this was, I pinched this one down so that it doesn't come up, but we experienced it, and a lot of people did. About half of those that came were damaged, and there wasn't necessarily anything you could do for them to not be damaged, but you can see now that they've corrected that. So, they've taken the time to do what's right to make sure that the books are not being damaged and that people get what they pay for. It's crazy, because it really screws them over to be releasing this first issue months afterward, because the interest has already proven itself. By the time you get to the 3rd issue, if it's not a seller and these were already printed and didn't already go out, they're going to sit on the shelves, and people like me are going to eat the cost on them. But we love blind bags, so what are you going to do? And then there was this, too, as well. Same thing. This story is already out. This number 1 is already out, but it's a blind bag mystery variant, and who knows what you could pull out of it, and it's all about gambling when we're reading comic books, right? That's the important part. Some would believe that. Here's some number 2s. You guys are just terrible. All of this, again, easy, accessible, really easy to get into. Lots of number 1s, number 2s, possibly number 3s. And here we go. 6, 7, I don't know, whatever. Here's some hyperspace stories, some more Star Wars, fantastic. It's Thundar the Barbarian, number 2. I have one number 1, a blank left. We get the G.I. Joe reprints that are going on. There's a Scorched. That's out almost to number 50 on Scorch. Wow, that's crazy. New Turtles, Godzilla, number 4, and another Junie Ba cover. These Junie Ba covers have just been great. Donatello this time as Ultraman, right? I think that's what he's supposed to be. Just a couple more things. Last one of my Batman Killing Jokes. I sold out my Batman Finest. I still have my Wonder Woman, one of those left. Gave out the last prize for last month, and had to find something. I was thinking, we've been through new stuff. We've been doing new stuff. They've all been new books. Well, how about this? How about going vintage? How about going key? And it's even vintage from my era. This is one I read off the shelf. I bought this off the shelf, brand new, back when I was younger than I am now. But this is big stuff. This is good stuff right here. This is first Jim Lee X-Men. You know that? Yeah. So how about key and vintage? All you have to do is be on a poll, and you could win that. And of course, our polls are free, and they don't guarantee. There's no guarantees in life, death and taxes, perhaps. But it pretty much helps ensure that you get the books that you want, and we're real flexible, and we have the app now, and the app lets you adjust things. And just the other day, I was wandering around Dillon's and ran into somebody who's in the store on a regular basis and who has a pull list, and I was able to adjust their pull list from my phone right there in the store. I say, hey, can you get me on that? I'm sure it was Absolute, one of the new Absolute titles. I think it was Green Arrow is what it was. It seems like that's what it was. I get stuff like that all the time, of course, but I was just able to make the changes right there. It was amazing. So you guys know the deal. Do me a favor, click the like, share this around, share us around. Come visit us this weekend, this Saturday, out at the Topeka Zoo, and tell people where you found us, because we are still truly one of Topeka's best kept secrets. I almost forgot these guys. The new Marvel team up. This is the facsimile edition of Marvel Team Up number 14, where Invincible joins the Marvel Universe. And we have a set of those, a couple of sets of those, individual ones, whatever you need there. Give us a like, and these things, including those, will either be here or they won't.